you've been on this incredible journey of healing. What has it taught you about greatness?
You can't be great without having peace and without going on a healing journey, in my mind. You can accomplish a lot. You can achieve a lot. You can get a lot of awards and make a lot of money. But I feel like if you feel like you still aren't enough, then you're not great, I don't think.
Because the thing that you're chasing is outside of you.
It is outside of you. And again, I was chasing them to feel better about myself, to feel like, okay, I matter and I have value, because I didn't believe I had value. And I think once you believe you have value, then you're creating from a space of love and win-win and service, as opposed to, I need to do this for me and look good and feel something up inside of me. You're doing it from a more healing journey place, and then you're able to give more. You're able to create in a better place. So a lot of my life was doing things to prove people wrong, that I felt abused, abandoned, made fun of by. It's like, well, let me go make, create, succeed to prove people wrong. So when I would lose, I was a bad loser, because I was like, oh, I didn't prove them wrong. I lost. They were right. And so it was just a different energy of creation. It's the second most powerful fuel, is the fuel of anger and not enoughness. You can go nonstop for years trying to prove your enoughness from that state. But it is exhausting energy. It's draining. It's like, you feel like, oh, what was the point of this? So many times I accomplished things in sports, biggest dreams, after 10 and 15 years of thinking about them, working hard and accomplishing it, and feeling like so angry after I accomplished it, because I thought I would feel something different. And I still didn't feel good enough. So I was like, I need to go create more and accomplish more. And then I would do it. And I was like, why am I still feeling alone inside? It's because I didn't have a good relationship with me internally. And once I started to shift that, I just feel such a good sense of peace. And because I have a meaningful mission that is not about me, it's about others as well. And
you talk about mission in this book.
And I think that's the foundation. It's like getting clear on a meaningful mission that is not about.
How do you do that?
I mean,
you've got the framework in here, but I'm thinking, Louis, about the person.
It depends on the season of your life. And again, if you are trying to pay your bills, you can't think about a meaningful mission. You got to think about protecting yourself, safety, and getting to a place of
that's
financial
a meaningful
stability.
Mission, right?
And that is a meaningful mission for this season, right?
Okay.
So when I was on my sister's couch, that's all I could think about was like, how can I make enough money to get off the couch?
Great.
And so that was the mission for that season. But once you complete that, you got to think about something bigger that includes others, right? And so I was still including others in that by adding value to people in order to get money from them, right? Essentially, I'm going to give you a service, I'm going to help you, and you're going to pay me.
Right.
So I'm helping them overcome a problem. And I was using my passion and my power to solve a problem. And that's what I started to do. And then I started to, once I overcame that mission or accomplished it, I was like, okay, now I can see a little bit further. Now what do I want to create? And the same thing happened with the School of Greatness.
Hold on. I just want to tell everybody. So Louis basically, in looking for a job, figured out how LinkedIn worked.
Exactly.
And then realized, oh, whoa, I can teach other people how to use LinkedIn like a pro. And so he literally became wildly successful being an expert on monetizing and utilizing LinkedIn and one platform. And tell everybody how you came up with the School for Greatness idea.
So after, 4 or 5 years of kind of teaching LinkedIn and then expanding it into just social media and marketing in general and courses and stuff like that, I realized, okay, I had enough money for maybe 2 years to live.
Oh, that's pretty damn good, Louis.
But when you're broke and poor, at least from my point of view,
the Holy Grail.
When you're broke and poor, from my point of view, I didn't spend anything. I was like, I just need to stack everything because I was in scarcity mode.
Yep.
So I wasn't like spending anything. So I had enough, and I also didn't have a car. I was living in like an apartment that was only $495 a month. I was like living in the lowest amount I could. I was like taking trains places, not like flying anywhere. I was like, how can I save?
This is Louis the squirrel.
Yes, I
was
in
his nuts,
trying
man.
to get
Here
nuts
we go.
everywhere.
That's right.
Put them in my back pocket. And once I realized, I can actually I'm surviving now, right? I'm thriving, I'm surviving. I got out of this kind of like scarcity mentality.
Yeah.
I was able to think beyond that. I was able to think beyond this like need to like just make money really quickly. And I realized I didn't want this anymore. This season of life, I was like, I don't want to do what I was doing in this business anymore. So I sold it to a business partner that I had. And I was like, okay, I've got about 2 years of cash if I don't make any money to survive.
Yep.
This is the exact moment when I got into the fight on the basketball court. I was going through a breakup in a relationship that I moved to LA for. And I was just having breakdowns in life. And so I was literally stuck in traffic in LA a little over 10 years ago. Tuesday next week is my 10-year anniversary for my podcast.
No way.
Tuesday next week. So a little over 10 years ago, maybe 10 years and 3 months ago, I'm stuck in LA traffic. All this stuff had just happened. And I'm just thinking to myself, man, I don't have it all figured out. I thought I did. I thought my ego knew it was right.
Yeah.
I thought I, accomplished stuff and this and that, and was featured in the White House and all these other things. I was like, man, I should be the man, but I feel like a loser. And I was stuck in LA traffic. We were literally on the 405, and we were not moving. And all these people around me in cars stopped, were screaming and honking and flipping each other off. And I'm honking, and I'm like, man, I'm stuck. We're stuck. Everyone's stuck. And I was just like, okay, if people are stuck in traffic and they're taking them so long to get places, what if I could offer value and solve a problem for them to get unstuck? This was literally what I was going through. And I was like, I need the solution myself. And I just started hearing about podcasting. This was 2012. I just started to hear just whispers, podcasting. What is this thing, right? And I was like, I literally called 2 friends in the car. It was a long drive, being stuck. I called 2 friends. I go, I know you have a podcast. I just saw you launch this thing.
Who were they?
Pat Flynn and my friend Derek Halpern.
Okay.
Called them both. And I go, tell me about the podcasting thing. And they were like, I love it. It's the coolest thing ever. The audience I'm connecting, the building, the relationship. It's the best thing ever. I don't make any money, but it's the best thing ever. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, man, I think I could do this, because I had started to just interview people for myself, recording it for me, like business leaders and sports athletes and all these people for years leading up to that. That's how I got in kind of the LinkedIn space. I would network with people, I'd interview them. And I just was like, man, I've learned so much from these people, which got me here in my business results. So let me take it a step farther. And they were both telling me like, well, you should just make it about like marketing and entrepreneurship, because that's what you're doing.
Right.
And I was like, it just doesn't resonate with me. I feel like I'm supposed to do something more. They're like, well, don't go too broad because it probably won't work.
Oh, you mean like greatness?
Yeah. And I was like, and who are you? You're still just like getting started. You're like an internet marketer. You don't have a big audience. Like, you can't go too broad.
You just beat somebody up on a basketball court.
I know, right?
mean,
like you're breaking down everywhere in your life. And I was just like, again, that voice kept saying like, I just feel like this is what I want to step into though. And even if it fails, I'm going to make it an experiment. I'm going to do it for 1 year, 1 episode a week for a year, and just see if I like it. So I discovered the mission by exploring something, by being curious and trying it. And I gave myself some parameters. I'm not going to try to make money. Again, at that time, I had money for 2 years.
Got it.
Some people may not have that luxury when they're figuring this out in terms of making money. You might have to make money really quickly. If I needed to make money, I could have.
Well, you also don't have to go all in.
Exactly.
What I loved about what you said, did you hear what Lewis said? Experiment. He gave himself permission to experiment with something for a year. Number 2, he took the pressure off and said, I'm not going to make this experiment generate money. And so if you can, whether you're on the couch or you're working a job, if you can give yourself the grace of an experiment and take the pressure off of money, you now are walking in the footsteps of greatness here. And so you set out on this experiment. And you didn't know shit about how to do it. You have 2 friends that...
I had an iPhone that I used to record in the beginning. I had no clue what I was doing. I was, I was trying to do what I thought I was supposed to do. I was just like trying stuff. And it's funny because my assistant listened to the first episode like last week. She goes, I went back and listened to the first episode. She goes, you're a completely different person. And I'm like, because it was more about success, right? It was more about like achievement and winning and like results.
Oh, I have to go back and listen now. It's like, you, Lewis. We might have to pop in a little audio of Lewis introducing
Exactly. Then I went to this workshop a few months later.
Oh, the one where you spoke for the first time?
Yeah, about sexual abuse and all these things. And I actually, this is so funny, I actually learned the concept about no one wins You don't win unless everyone wins around you. That was like, what? That concept didn't make sense to me as an athlete. I was like, no, there is one winner. Everyone else must lose. Otherwise, you're the loser, right? That was kind of like the mentality that I was trained with.
Right.
It was the programming that I was conditioned to have. And this workshop taught me that you don't win unless everyone wins.
You embody that, dude.
And it's about, thank you. And it's about, it doesn't mean, winning could look differently for everyone around you, but there must be like a win-win experience. Otherwise, your win doesn't mean as much if others aren't improving and growing and succeeding in whatever it is they're doing as well, right? It doesn't mean it has to be equal winning or something like that. And that's why I was like, yeah, that's right. This podcast can't be about like results. It should be about elevating others and about improvement and how we can all win together. And that's when it started to shift. And I started to like be a little softer and be less like, let's just get results, and it was beautiful. So there's so much that happened in that first year of the experiment where I started to like try something and it wasn't perfect the first 100 times. I just said, how can I make it better every time? How can I listen to the feedback and make it better every time? And how can I find my voice in this process? Even if I'm not comfortable sharing my voice, how do I find it by practicing it? And after the first year, I remember being like, man, I just really loved this and enjoyed it. And so 10 years later, here we are. I still love it, still enjoy it.
Wow. When you think back on literally probably thousands of people that you've interviewed, what's one interview that you reflect on the most?
I was going to say Kobe because he was my favorite interview. But when you said this, there was an interview the first year that I had with a guy named Chris Lee, who is the actual coach and trainer of the workshop I went to when I opened up for the first time.
Really?
He had such a massive impact on me from that experience that I ended up hiring him as a coach for a couple of years just to like coach me personally. And I had him come on the show and I had him put me through, well, I guess he put me through it, but I asked him about like, I was single at the time. I go, how do you find the dream like partner? And he put me through a guided meditation where he had me close my eyes. And he like walked me through a scenario and a scene of my future self. And he said, I want you to imagine waking up next to this person. I want you to imagine what they look like, what they sound like. I want you to imagine when you open the windows, where you are in the world, what your view is. I want you to imagine the feeling, the experience you're having with this person. And the reason I'm talking about that is because I said to myself during that, my eyes were closed. I was like, I don't know if this was weird or not, but I was like, I wake up next to the woman of my dreams. And when I open my eyes, she looks at me and she's smiling at me every morning. And I remember just saying that. I don't know why that came to me, but I was like, she looks at me, she's smiling at me because she's so grateful and happy that we're in this relationship together. And essentially 8 years later, I'm in a relationship with a person that wakes up, that literally opens her eyes and looks at me and smiles. And this is no joke. It happens every day. She looks at me, she hugs me. Some days she wakes up crying. I'm not kidding, because she's just a grateful human being. Not just because of like I'm in her life, but she's just a happy person. And I dreamt of this. And so for me, that was a powerful episode because I had 2 other relationships before her and after this conversation. Those things didn't happen. And I realized that it only happened the moment I started to fully heal a lot of the emotional things that I still wasn't ready to face in intimacy. So I healed one element, but not all the other elements. And it wasn't until I literally, there was a pain in my chest for years from other things, not the sexual abuse pain, because I could talk about that freely and be at peace. But in other things that I still wasn't willing to face. And it wasn't until I faced those things 2 years ago, there was a pain in my chest for many years that would come and go. It disintegrated after about 5 months of intensive therapy, integration, healing. It finally disintegrated in my chest, and I felt this ball of pain go throughout my body into like complete freedom. And it hasn't come back since.
Wow.
It took 5 months of intense reflection, exercises, practicing of healing the nervous system to where that went away, that is literally a month or two later, I met her.
Wow.
And it's been a game changer ever since.
Have you talked publicly about what that thing was that you faced?
I haven't really talked about it publicly. I just started kind of telling people that, because I don't know if other people feel a pain in their chest. I don't know if you've ever felt like a ball that's kind of like this, not palpitations, but just kind of a nagging pain.
I think people I feel it more kind of like right above the stomach.
Yeah.
That's sort of where and I know when it's coming because it hits the ankles first and then this clenches. Yep.
Like wobbly legs or something?
No, like I feel literally when I get triggered, I literally feel it start.
And it comes to your stomach.
Yeah, but I think you want to know why. It's because that's how the person approached me.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, because it used to be the throat and the chest for me. You just feel like I couldn't speak.
Yeah.
And there was like a pain here. And I was like, it wasn't like I felt like I was going to have a heart attack or anything like that, but it's just like a nagging pain.
Yeah.
And it would come and go. And I couldn't figure out how to get rid of it or how to like eliminate it. And I went to 5 months of intensive every week therapy, sometimes 5-6 hours on Saturdays, where I was just like, I'm a maniac on a mission to create peace, clarity, and freedom. The first day I stepped into therapy with my coach, I call her an emotional coach because I think we should all have one. She said, what's your intention for starting this process? I said, I want peace, clarity, and freedom. Because I didn't feel like I had any of those.
Can I take a guess at what your biggest block was?
Sure.
It was an inability to even allow love in. Is that what it was?
I don't know if that's what it was. Maybe, but it was my inability to not abandon myself.
What does that mean for somebody who's never heard that term?
So it was my inability to not abandon myself in intimacy with one person, the person that I was choosing to be in a committed relationship with. Because I wanted to abandon myself in other areas. I would stand up for, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, were you like a nice guy doormat type in relationships?
I was more trying to buy peace. So whenever my relationships in the past would be upset at me.
Yeah.
You didn't do this. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll go do it now.
Yeah.
Whenever there was disturbance emotionally.
Yes. You
or the
withdrew?
Environment, or they were screaming at me, or they were cold shoulder, or they wouldn't speak to me. I was like, I don't like this feeling. And so I didn't know how to navigate my inner world when that would happen. I didn't know how to be peaceful under chaos emotionally. So I would do things to buy peace. I would say, okay, I'll stop doing this. Even though I don't want to stop doing something, I'll stop doing it to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give in here. Okay, I'll come home 5 hours early. Okay, I won't go on that trip because you don't feel comfortable with me going alone.
See, I don't think people understand how much men struggle with this. No, I mean it. Like this is why I said you remind me a tremendous amount in ways of Chris. Same thing. Like just would shut down.
Yeah.
Or
give in.
Or give in and not capable of expressing what he needed because his experience as a kid was it didn't matter anyway.
Exactly. And a lot of times, in general, a lot of men were never trained on how to navigate uncomfortable emotions through their highest selves. They would navigate it through their ego self, which is to defend, protect, and show that everything's okay. And that works in some cases, but not in every case. And I think I didn't have the tools, the training, the knowledge, the experience, the wisdom on how to navigate stressful emotions in love, in an intimate, loving relationship. I could do it in business and sports and other things.
What wasn't modeled for you?
Wasn't modeled for me. Yeah, it was constant. It was a constant low-level stress and like resentment from my parents of each other, which made me always like, what's going to happen, right? And they loved me, and I knew they loved me, but I knew they also didn't love each other.
Yeah.
And so that was stressful. And so I didn't know how to be with a woman who was like, you can't do this, screaming at me, don't do this. I don't like when you do this. This is not okay, blah, 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 blah. Because what they are saying is you're not enough. And I don't accept you for who you are, Lewis. So I didn't accept myself for who I was. I knew I wasn't enough. That's how I thought. So I said, I'm going to do what's going to make her feel like I'm enough for her.
Right.
And after a year, 2 years, 3 years of doing that and just giving in and giving in and giving in, you fully lose yourself.
Yes.
You lose you lose who you are. Then you get resentful, you get frustrated, you get angry. So I lacked the emotional ability to say no. And if you don't love me and accept me and you want to walk away, that's okay. And I lacked the emotional ability to just be okay with me walking away from something as well. And that's why when I met Martha, which you've met her a couple times now.
She smiles at you all the time.
I had a fully different experience.
Because you were different.
Because I was completely different. And I just told her, like, straight up, I was like, this is my values, this is who I am, and I'm never going to abandon myself for anyone. Mm-hmm. You, this, that, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just never going to abandon myself. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not going to be a flexible human being and supportive in all these other ways, but I'm not going to give up who I am to please one human being because they're not happy with me.
Dude, if you could sum up the greatness mindset, I think you just did. There is this quote that goes viral all the time. I have no idea who said it first, but it's that thing that when you put all your energy into trying to keep the peace with others, you create a war inside yourself.
That's
and
good.
That is just what you described.
Yeah.
That tension in your chest, and so many of you listening, listen with it, or that pit in your stomach is the war that Lewis just described with yourself, because you're so much more focused and concerned with keeping the peace, making sure everybody else is okay. And until you invert that and you focus on creating peace within yourself, that's it right there.
And this is the moment when it unlocked. I remember now exactly what happened when the pain went away, because I was working on, because I didn't feel free, right? And so for 5 months of therapy, going in every week, I was committed. I was like, I'm going to figure this out, and I'll go as long as it takes.
You're like a truffle pig for healing.
was like,
He's going to root that thing out right there. I'm
exactly.
doing it, man. I'm not going to stop until I'm healed. I love that. I'm proud of you.
And healing's a journey. It's not an event that happens overnight.
Right.
There's an unlocking, there's an awareness moments, but then then PTSD occurs if you don't keep integrating it.
Yeah.
So it's a constant
So
journey.
what was that moment?
So the moment was because every time I would meet my coach, she'd say, what's your intention? Peace, clarity, freedom.
Okay.
I didn't feel them. And so we were talking about what each one is. When do you not feel peace? When do you not feel clear? Freedom. And I was like, I've never felt free in my life. And a lot of it came down to modeling parents. They weren't free in their relationship. They both were resentful of being in the relationship. They both got married when they're 19. They didn't know any better.
Yeah.
They had 4 kids. They were working their butts off, just staying together. So I don't blame them, but they stayed together, not because they wanted to, because they didn't know how to navigate it as well. And so I saw them trapped. That was what it was for me. I saw them trapped, and I was afraid to be trapped because I didn't want to repeat the feeling of them being trapped and feeling miserable a lot of the time. And I was like, I don't want to create that in my life, but I didn't know how to stand up for myself. So that was the thing. And she just kept looking at me. It was kind of like a Goodwill Hunting moment. She was like, you're not trapped. You're not trapped. You're not trapped. You're a free man. You're a free man. You're a free man. And I don't know what it was, just like all the months of like the practicing, the integrating, the opening it back up, where it just kind of like this like rush. It like finally connected to me that I am a free man, that I am not trapped. She was like, you can walk away at any moment. You can walk away at any moment. You don't have to keep working in this relationship. Like, especially since you're not married, you don't have to walk. You can walk away at any moment.
But even if you are married, you're free.
You can walk away. And that was the thing. I was like, I'm so afraid to get married because I don't want to have the shame of getting divorced or the pain that happens after divorce that so many people go through.
Well, it's so interesting. You were so focused on not feeling trapped that you actually trapped yourself.
100%. And it's so funny because I went to a prison almost every week for 4.5 years, and I watched men who were trapped behind bars. But some of them were emotionally free. Some of them were there, but I saw them free men. Like they were in a state of complete peace. Not all of them, but some of them had so much love in their hearts, were very kind and generous. They had their families around, and they were free emotionally. But they just did something that put them in there physically. And I realized for so long that I was trapped emotionally, but free physically. And I didn't know how to break free. And that was the thing where I was like, I'm just sick and tired of feeling this pain. I'm sick and tired of repeating the pattern where
Yeah.
I'm the common denominator in all these relationships, choosing them, staying in them, and not standing up for myself. So that was a massive game changer for me, was investing in emotional coaching, showing up consistently when I didn't want to, and doing the work. And I think a lot of us will get business coaches, career coaches, health coaches, but the emotional game is the game that most of us don't know how to master. And yet we won't invest in coaching or find support. And I just think it's so crucial.
Well, you write at the very end of your fantastic book, The Greatness Mindset. You're talking about unlock the power of your mind and live your best life today. You have a huge section in this on healing.
A whole section is healing. I feel like you cannot be
huge
great.
Section.
I feel like you
the
can't
whole
be great
middle
unless
of
you
the
heal.
book
Yeah.
is healing. Like, I feel like it's not even unlock the power of your mind. It's literally unlock the power of your mind, body, and spirit. Integrate it all.
Well, you know, everything's a Trojan horse. So
Well,
you
that's true.
You gotta bring people
Nobody's
in
going to
who
pick
are-
up the healing book, so they're like,
Yes,
I'm gonna buy the
exactly.
mindset book. But guys, if people understood the art of falling in love with yourself, the world would be a much better place.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis, the world is a much better place because you're in it.
Thank you, Mel.
And I wanted to ask you. Let's see if I can.
You're gonna make
find-
me read one more thing, or
I am not going to make you read one more thing, especially now that I know
I am
that
happy
was
to
a
read.
trigger for you.
No, I'm happy to give it to me.
You
I
did
get the practice.
fantastic. So, first of all, everybody, please go get the book. When I sit here and think about what you're about to experience, I can honestly tell you this is one of the deepest conversations I've ever had with someone that I recorded. And so I'm glad that my guest today agreed to let me share this conversation with you. It's unlike anything you may have heard before, particularly heard a man talking about.